Welcome back, Beast Bros. Join me as I share my experiences with 3 different sleeping bags, each one catering to a different budget. So we're gonna look at a low-cost option, one that's more middle of the road, and then we're gonna look at one that's toward the higher end of the pay scale. So if you're on the market for your next perfect sleeping companion, stick around as we're gonna break down the pros and cons of each of them. Let's get started. So for the purposes of this comparison, we're gonna look at 5 different aspects of each bag. We're gonna look at, first off, the temperature rating of the bag, how much the bag weighs, the dimensions of it, both rolled out to sleep in and packed up. We're also gonna take a look at its comfort level and durability. And then finally, of course, we're gonna look at the price tag. Okay, first off, we're gonna take a look at this Ozar Trail 50-degree warm weather sleeping bag. Now, I bought this bag years ago for one of my kids when we used to do a lot of fair weather camping. Now, it is rated for 50 degrees, so it's not gonna be ideal for a lot of colder weather situations. You also need to keep in mind, and this goes for all of the bags we're gonna look at, is when they say 50 degrees, that just means you'll probably survive at 50 degrees. So the comfort level is actually gonna be a bit higher, anywhere from 10 to 20 degrees higher depending on the bag. I would say for a bag like this, your comfort level probably isn't gonna get below 60 degrees. Any colder than that, and you're gonna need something additional. Now the weight of this bag is coming in right about 3 pounds. Not too bad as far as sleeping bags are concerned. And the bag is dimensioned at 33 inches by 75 inches. So it should have plenty of room in here for most adults to be able to get inside and not feel claustrophobic and, you know, be able to move around and even roll over if you're one of those side sleepers. There's plenty of wiggle room inside of this bag. However, when you try to pack this up, this is one of those that you have to fold in half and then roll down from one end to give yourself a big roll. And it's got these straps that you can see have all been kind of worn out. They're just elastic straps that you wrap around the roll in order to keep it bound up. When you roll this thing up, it's gonna be in a roll that's about 18 inches long by about 9 inches in diameter. So rolling it up, you know, is a bit of a pain, and you know, it's a good quality stash there to try to pack into a backpack, more of a car camping kind of thing. It is a reasonably comfortable bag though. It has a soft interior lining in it that feels good on the skin. It has a rectangular shape to it. So if you're one of those people that don't like to feel confined, you know, it doesn't have any tapering going on. So it's nice and roomy in the foot box. As far as durability, I've had this bag for many years and I've put it through the ringer, as you can see. These elastic straps have all but pretty much lost every bit of stretch that they have. They do still hold it together, but not very well. You can feel over the years of washing it, it's got a synthetic cotton material inside and it's starting to get clumped up. There's not a lot of stitching to hold it in place. So it's kind of, you know, it's thicker in some areas and thinner in other areas. So that's not really held up over the years. Up here you can see the zipper has started to rip off up here. Now the zipper does still function well. It is a one-piece zipper that zips from the fold all the way across the bottom and around the top. So it's just a one zipper. Hey, at least that's still functioning properly, although it is tearing apart from the seams here. I would say this bag held up pretty good for about the first 2 or 3 years before I started seeing the deterioration in the stuffing. However, this could be considered one of those situations where you kind of get what you pay for, because when it comes to price, this bag only costs 20 bucks. You can pick them up at most Walmarts or Targets. I mean, you'll find one just about everywhere. But for a 50-degree bag, I mean, 20 bucks, last you a couple of years. After that, you're probably gonna wanna replace it. All right, next on the list is the Hizzy 0-degree cold weather sleeping bag. I picked up 2 of these bags a little more than 2 years ago because we started doing a lot more cold weather camping. Now this one is rated at 0 degrees, but As I said, the comfort level is not going to be that low. From the gauge that it gives you and from my own experience, this will get you down to about 30 degrees before you're going to start getting a little uncomfortable and cold, which usually for the weather in our neck of the woods is pretty good. This is my go-to bag. Now this bag is quite a bit heavier. This thing weighs 7 pounds. So you're definitely not gonna be using this on any backpacking excursions. However, it is great for your car camping trips. The measurements of this one is 39 inches wide by 90 inches long. So it's massive and plenty of room for even tall guys over 6 foot. And the nice extra width of it gives you plenty of room inside to roll around and all that. There can be a drawback to that. You may experience a little more dead space in the bag, and it's just more space to try to heat up. So there's some pros and cons to that. It also takes up a lot of space when you try to roll it up. It is the same style of sort of fold it in half and roll it. It does come with a bag that you can put it inside of, but when you put it in that bag, it's gonna be about 20 inches long and about 14 inches in diameter. It's got a really thick stuffing to it. Yeah, and after it's all packed up, it's a big, heavy roll. I do really like this bag though. It's very comfortable. It's got this 100% cotton inner lining on it. Very, very comfortable. It has a super thick spray bonded cotton filler inside of it. So this thing has maintained its puffiness and all of the stuffing is staying in place, and it stays nice and thick for a longer period of time. It's held up way better over the couple of years that I've had it. It's also got this half circle hood, so you can kind of keep your head warm up in here when you're sleeping. It has a little pocket with a Velcro on it, so you can stick your cell phone in there and keep your phone inside the bag with you, which keeps your phone warm and helps that battery to last a little bit longer. The outer part is made of a 210T anti-tearing polyester. You can actually see the grid in it if you look closely at it. So I haven't had any problems with any rips or tears. It's also water resistant. If you brush up against the tent and a little bit of condensation gets on you, it's not gonna seep through onto the inside and get you wet. It also has a little lip around the edge, just kind of to help hold the cold air in on the inside, kind of like a tuck-in feature. Another thing that I thought was pretty cool about this, you can regulate your temperature. It has the zipper that goes all the way down one side. You can see it coming to the bottom here. So it zips all the way to the bottom. On the side, you can actually zip it back up from this side. If you're getting a little warm, you can let a little bit of air in like that. Or it has a separate zipper on the bottom. So you can just open up the bottom and let a little extra air in that way if you so choose to. Another thing that's cool about being able to zip it open like this, you can lay it flat out just like a big pad if you wanted to. And you can also purchase these in left and right versions. So having a left and a right version, because of the hoodie that it has on it, if you have a left and a right version, you can pull these apart and zip them together and just make one big double sleeping bag for two. That's pretty cool. So this bag is holding up very, very well for me. It's still pretty much in the same condition it was when I bought it. Like I said, I've had it a little over 2 years. So I'm really happy with this bag. Currently at the moment, this is my go-to sleeping bag. I'll use it most often. So the price of this is coming in at about $75 to $80. So while it is quite a bit more expensive than the lower end alternative, it's already made up for it in longevity and durability. As long as you're on a typical car camping trip and you're not worried about the weight or the bulkiness of it, it's a great bag. Finally, my more high-end bag is the Nemo Disco. This is a 15-degree mummy-style sleeping bag. I bought this one specifically for hiking because it's much more lightweight. It's plenty warm enough for most of the hiking situations that we go into, and it packs down really tight and small, so it's real easy to fit into your bag and carry along with you. Now this bag is rated at 15 degrees, so I would say its comfort level I've had it dipping down just below freezing before and stayed comfortable. When it gets down any lower than that, typically when I'm hiking, you know, I'll just wear my some pants and maybe my puff jacket on to sleep, and it makes up for the difference in your temperature rating, and no problems. You stay nice and warm and comfortable in this bag. The weight is also an added bonus. This thing only comes in at about 3 pounds, so when you're hiking, those shedding those extra pounds really makes a big difference. Now the size on this thing is 38 by 72, so it's still got a really good width to it. It is a spoon shape to it, so it tapers out at the top and gives you more room, more elbow and shoulder room, while tapering in at the bottom, sort of taking up some of that dead space and helping to keep your feet a little bit warmer. And overall, it just keeps itself close to your body to get rid of dead space overall. And that makes it a little bit quicker to heat up your bag when you get in it. And it also makes it easier for your body to keep it warm inside while you're sleeping overnight. And this thing will pack down real small, down to like 12 inches by about 11-inch diameter. So you're talking about a little pill like this that goes in your bag. So that's really nice when you're backpacking. It has a large waterproof foot box. You can see the material change here. That way if your feet bumps up against your tent in the middle of the night and some condensation falls on there, your feet aren't gonna get wet. It's got these thermofill vents on it to help you regulate temperature. If you do get a little warm, you can just open these things up. You can see they're opened up right now. And if you get cold, you can just close them down. It's just basically just a thinner part of the material right here that's not filled with down. Sort of like air conditioning for your sleeping bag if you get it too hot in there. It's also got that blanket fold bib, kind of like that tucked in your bed kind of comfort, folds over. The zipper doesn't go all the way down to the feet, so that way your foot has no exposure, no way to get any extra air in there. Helps to keep your feet a lot warmer. It does, however, have a double zipper on it, as you can see. There's one towards the bottom, and there's another one towards the top. You can zip it from the inside and the outside of the bag. It's got this this plastic piece on the zipper that makes it real easy to load and get started. You just push it through into the bottom zipper, get it snug, and it's got these little strings to help you grab a hold of it. And that piece of that plastic guard helps it keep from snagging on itself, which is really nice. You can move this zipper along without a snag. And if you get too warm in there and opening the vents isn't enough, you can always come down to the bottom and open this up a little bit, get a little extra in down by your legs. Another cool feature to this bag is the headpiece. Like, this is a mummy style bag, so you can zip up in here. It's got a drawstring here, so you can cinch all this down around your face if you need to. It also has a pocket inside of here. You can see this right here. The manufacturer designed this way so that you have some clothes that might be a little damp or that need to get dry or whatever. You could stick some clothing in here, whether it be a shirt or some socks or something like that, and it'll help keep them dry or dry them out if they're a little bit damp. And it can also help to serve as a bit of a pillow for you while you're doing that. So typically what I would do is I would keep in any sort of things like that you want to dry out in here. Then I would come in here and put my inflatable pillow right inside here and then tuck my head up in there, and it keeps all of that contained, so as you move around, nothing moves out of place and you stay comfortable and less likely to wake up in the middle of the night. So the inner material is a polyester material. It's sort of a drying material to keep it, you know, from like any sweat or anything from building up on you. It's moisture wicking, and the outside is a nylon, so it's a little more durable. It's going to help it last longer while still being fairly lightweight. I've been using this bag for a little more than a year now, and it is still holding up like a champ. There's not even any damage to it. I've drugged this thing all through the mountains. Now, this bag, being on the higher end of the pay scale, is going to be a little bit more pricey for you, but I believe it's worth the money. You can find these things for anywhere from $210 to $315, depending on the style and the size that you get. They come in men's, women's, you know, large, small. I believe they're all the classic spoon shape. This one here that I got is the men's long. It ran me about $280. I bought it at REI. So you can find these online also, Amazon. I've compared prices. Prices have been all pretty much the same no matter where I've looked. So there you have it. So there is a bag out there that's right for you and that'll fit your budget. Just be sure to shop around out there and take a really close look at all of the specs and make sure that it's right for your specifications. So I'm Steve, we are Beast Mode Camping. Be sure to like and subscribe, and we'll see you next week.